I made the cutest little Jon Jon, little romper, little overalls, whatever you want to call them, for my grandson. I found an inexpensive little pattern that used snap tape instead of having to put in your own snaps, and it turned out so cute. Then I had an idea. Father's Day is coming up. What if I bought his dad a shirt, bought an extra one, and used that and made them little kind of matching outfits for Father's Day? Sounds simple, right? This pattern that I got, seam down the front, perfect. Buttons. That doesn't work. You can't get the curve of the leg out of the shirt. So I had to do some thinking, and I did it. It turned out so cute. Upcycling men's shirts is such a thing right now that I decided, well, I might as well share what I did. So I've linked the pattern that I used in the description. I'm going to show you today how to manipulate this little simple pattern so you can create your own little matching father-son outfit. Or you can just upcycle a men's shirt into a cute little romper for your son or grandson. Or this little pattern shows how to put ruffles on the bottom, so you can do it for your little girl too. Hi, I'm Emily with Threaded Journey, and let's get started. You want to start with a big men's shirt, especially depending on what size you are making. This one is a medium, and I barely got the 12 to 18 months to work. So as big a shirt as you can purchase. Now you're just going to cut it apart, leaving as much fabric as you can, and don't forget to take off the pocket. I'm going to be making the 12 to 18 month size with a 3-inch inseam so that it shorts. I'll cut the length to what I want it, and I've already cut out the top to the correct size. Now for this back piece, I'm going to go ahead and cut it to the correct size. It's going to be seamed down the middle, and seam allowance is already included in the pattern. Now I want to find the middle of the underarm so that I can make a new side seam. This is now going to be my side seam. I now have to add seam allowance to that. So I'm going to take my papers that I cut off earlier. Now I'm going to add my 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. 1 centimeter is easier to measure. Seam allowance to the side. I'm going to do the exact same thing over here with the side. Back panel piece is now complete, just as is. Seam allowance was already included on this side. We've added seam allowance down this side seam, so this panel is good just like it is. All right, here's my front piece. I need to find where it is straight before it starts to curve at all. Make a straight line and cut that. Save this for later because this had a seam allowance included. I need to remove that from right here. So set this aside. I'm gonna take my seam allowance mark here, my 1 centimeter, and I'm gonna remove my seam allowance because we are now going to be cutting this on the fold. Now going to cut 1 on the fold. So this is my fold. This is the front. And this is my buttons. So when I'm ready to cut it out, I can line up this middle fold line with the middle of the buttons. I can't actually cut it on the fold. So what I'm going to do is draw around it, flip it over, draw around it, and that way I can cut it out with the buttons being in the middle. We need the legs now. Our legs are going to be seamed right here. Seam allowance is already in there. All right, so we're going to cut 2 mirrored. When we've cut them out of fabric, we're going to be adding these 2 pieces back together. The difference here is that that's going to be a seam, and then we're going to need a seam right here to be able to attach those together and have the right length. All right, my new pattern has been made. I cut, just as a recap, I cut at the side seam and added seam allowance on both sides. And then I set the back aside. I removed the added in seam allowance here to make it where it would be cut on the fold, even though we'll just flip it. This is going to be the buttons. I added a seam allowance here because I removed the bottom portion of the front. Added a seam allowance here. This part already has seam allowance included. I'm going to cut 2 of these mirrored, and then I will stitch them right here and then add them to my front piece. And those are my pattern pieces. And now let's cut it out of the shirt. I'm cutting 2 mirrored back pieces. I went ahead and just clipped mine together so it'll be ready to stitch right there. Found where I wanted my top to be. I marked my seam allowance right here because I have to remember this will be folded over with the lining. So I needed enough space here that I can get my presser foot if possible, but just so that my turn wasn't in the button. I'm lining it up. I traced around it just to make sure instead of cutting it. Then I flipped it over, putting it right on that line, and traced around it again. And I'd put pins just to make sure it all stays nice and flat. And I'm going to stitch that closed before I start putting it all together. I don't want it to actually be able to open. I stitched within my seam allowance a little stitch line to close it here. And then I stitched this closed. I also pressed my 1 centimeter seam allowance line right here. That's going to help me when I'm cutting out this part so that I can match my plaids as absolutely best that I can. I'm going to be cutting the legs out of the sleeves. Drawn out my pattern. I'm stitching it right sides together and I flip it on the seam allowance. This is what it's going to look like, which is a match. I need to do the other side and I'm going to be matching and coming in. Take your time with this. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you want it to look nice. So the same thing, I drew around it. I'm not cutting it. If I matched that up, seam allowance to seam allowance, is it going to line up? Then I also want to make sure that my lines match up this way as well. Okay, so that when I do this and seam these together, they're going to line up. Okay, they may not match exactly the pattern, but I definitely want them to line up going sideways. So double check those before you cut. I'm going to sew this together first, and I'm just going to very carefully clip or pin and do right sides together. I've stitched my back piece together. I clipped it around the curve, serged it, and then I came back and top stitched it. Also did the same thing for the bottom of the front. And now I'm going to stitch these together. And then I'm also going to top stitch this as well, just to make sure that the seam allowance is stitched down and isn't aggravating to the baby. All right, bottom is attached. And I just stitched this down, that way it wouldn't be in the way. Before we do the lining, decide if you want to do a pocket. If you're doing one that looks like Dad's, you're gonna wanna do a pocket probably. And the pocket typically is about right here. Look at another shirt, see where it usually lines up, or look at the Dad's shirt and see where it lines up. So I'm going to be looking at, I definitely am going to have a seam allowance here, so I can't go within that. And I'm going to be top stitching it. I want to make sure that my pocket doesn't come really any further than about right here. And then of course I wanted a little space. So I'm looking at a pocket that is roughly 2 3/4 inches. I don't know if you've made a pocket before. When they're cut, one side is longer than the other to make the middle of the bottom point be the middle. Instead of trying to recreate, I'm going to use this middle as my bottom middle point. Okay, I have a square here and I've used those parameters. My end pocket would be the 2 3/4. I have my seam allowance. This would be my fold line. So here's going to be my little sweet little pocket if it was a square. Now I found my middle line here, and I found the middle of the original pocket. I'm going to put that seam allowance line right at that little point, and this is where I'm going to cut out my pocket. That way I can use this already folded point. Or I can make a square pocket, but I want mine to look like the original. So here we go. Now I'm just folding my 1 centimeter on each side, and then I'll fold down the 1 inch at the top and then stitch those onto the front. And here's what it looks like on the back. Now it's time for lining. We did not cut out the lining pieces when we did our pattern. This is going to be different than the instructions say to some degree. So you're going to need to find some kind of place, but you're just going to, maybe come 1.5 inches or 2 down from the armpit and cut a straight across line and just follow along and make your lining pieces. I have hemmed it, and now I'm going to right sides together and stitch. Before I attach the lining to the back piece, I want to take some interfacing and put it on the little straps, because this is where I'm going to be putting my buttonhole. So the interfacing doesn't need to be very thick at all, just some lightweight. It's just going to give it a little bit of stabilizer when you do the buttonhole. I did end up having to seam mine, so that was fine. I just used the pattern pieces to cut it, seamed it, hemmed it, and now I'm going to stitch it in. And I'm only stitching to here. I'm not stitching the side seam. My facings have been put on, flipped, pressed, all the things, back and front. Now I'm just going to do right sides together and stitch up the sides. After my side seams were in and pressed to the back, I just top stitched all the way around. Now I have finished off all of the bottom of my legs. And I'm going to hem the legs, just whatever amount you want based on what you cut them off to be. So this is your choice based on your child's legs. My shorts are hemmed. Now, for the crotch part where we're gonna put our snap tape, you're gonna fold up on the front side a 1/2 inch, or best you can. Do 1/2 inch on the side and then iron it as best you can. On the back side, we're doing our 1/2 inch to the inside because we're going to be snapping them like this. So those two sides are together like this. I have my snap tape and I have it snapped together, and I'm going to kind of look at it. I want to get rid of this one that has no edge, and I'm just going to keep a long tail here, and I'm centering snaps the best that I can so that they're kind of equal and that there's a little tabby on each side. This one is going to go up here, and this one is going to go down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out where I want that. So it's just kind of, you just kind of have to play with it a little bit. So there's that one. I start by stitching that little under part down so that it stays. I did this first, and I have to start it away from the edge. My zipper foot will not allow me to do that little part right there. So I just started a little bit away from it, and I will come back and get that later. Now I'm going to stitch this down, and then I will do this. I cannot make the turn personally with my zipper foot, so I have to do this as a stitch, stop, and then do this one. Snap tape is complete. So there we have it. That's how it snaps together. And I was still a little off over here, but I think it was more of a hemming issue than the snap tape issue. It's between his legs, and he's not even a year old. So there you go. All is good. Now it is time for buttons and buttonholes. So we're going to put the buttonholes in the top. That's where we put our interfacing. If you wanted to switch that for any reason, you would have wanted to put your interfacing in here. But we're just going to kind of look at it. See how we want them to go, how we want them to work. And you had extra buttons on the shirt. So you're just going to remove those, and those will be your buttons. And we're going to put in buttonholes. This just turned out so cute. It's the front, and just in case you were curious, here's the back. Isn't he adorable? It's a little big because I made it for the end of the summer, but I absolutely love how it turned out. And thank you for watching. I hope you make an adorable Jon Jon for your child or grandchild.